Romans. I have so many crazy stories. I've been coming here so long. I got many crazy stories of things that have happened to me in this country. And I think of all of them, and I'm not going to start to tell them because I'll never stop. There's so many of them. The time I forgot my luggage. The time I thought I was going to die because the power went out in my entire country. And tonight, I'm about to have a wardrobe malfunction right before your very eyes. My mother, my sanctified Pentecostal holiness mother, would be livid, mortified, if she knew that I had my shirt unbuttoned. But as I walked in here tonight and began to button my shirt, the buttons dissolved in my hands. And when the first one went, I thought, well, that's not good, because I'm just going to look like an old man that doesn't know he's old. And I went for the next one, and it broke in half, and I just stopped right there and said, Lord, just let that half hold up till I get out of church tonight. It's close, but it's holding on right now. Father, in Jesus' name. Here we go. Pastor Eddie, keep the keys handy. If I put my hand on my chest, I'm not doing Hail Mary. That means get the car ready. We're going to the house. Romans chapter 9 and the 33rd verse. As it is written, I'm reading from the New King James Version. I'm nervous as a cat on a hot tub roof because I wish I was here to sermonize tonight. And you know, a lot of prophetic types around these days. And that means that they don't prepare. That's really what it seems to be. It means when they say they got a prophetic ministry, I listen to them and I think, it just sounds to me like you don't prepare. You just get up and say crazy stuff and hope that people consider that to be God. And I like structure and syntax. And I like putting together a sermon, but God didn't give me a sermon tonight. He just gave me a word for you. Now, I feel like I have a sermon I'm going to preach tomorrow night if everything works out, and I really want to preach it tonight, but I have to say this because I believe God sent me to say this tonight. Right. As it written, behold, he's about to quote the Old Testament here. Behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and rock of offense. Oh, so you turn into a Sunday morning crowd. You're not going to say amen unless it's Psalms, Proverbs, or a gospel reading. I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and rock of offense. And whoever believes on him will not be put to shame. I'm going to sit you down. I stood on that floor a long time. I know it can hurt your swollen ankles and your bad back. I'm going to let you sit down. But before I do, because some of you are not going to get up again until you head to the bus. So before I set you back down, I want to tell you that Jesus never said you wouldn't be offended. I'm tired of hearing little Christians say, that's so offensive to me. You're going to need to call somebody who cares. Because Jesus never said you wouldn't be offended. That's hard preaching. Listen to me, preacher. Don't apologize to the people when they're about to be offended. Teach them that is a barometer for their backslidness. You don't hear what I'm talking about. Jesus never said you wouldn't be offended. He just said you'd be blessed if you chose not to be offended. I'm tired of little pitiful preachers who, when they get ready to deliver the word, say, now this may be offensive to some. But I don't want you to be offended. If you're offended, that's not your preacher's fault. That means you're not where you need to be with God. So you need to deal with that part of you that was offended. And that's not going to be fixed with a counseling session with the preacher. Nobody talking to me up in here now. Can we discuss what you preached Sunday? No, I said everything I meant, and I meant everything I said. A rock of offense. But here's the kicker. Whoever believes on him will not be put to shame. Turn to that naked person standing next to you and say to them, where's your covering, man?
Where's your covering, man?
Father, thank you for your presence tonight. Bind the strong man and help me here, Holy Ghost. I'm leaning on you. I don't have any notes on the page, structure or syntax or outline to follow. I'm leaning on you. Help me parrot what you preached in my spirit today. in Jesus' name. Now say to the Lord, rebuke you. The blood is against you. We bind you on the authority of Jesus' name. And we loose the Holy Ghost of God in here tonight. Put your hand on either side of your head and say, Father, touch my mind. The enemy has jacked it up. Put your hand on your neighbor and say, Father,
It's a hot mess.
these folks are a real mess right here. God bless you. May be seated. Will you talk to a preacher for a minute in here tonight? Romans, the 9th chapter, I find this interesting. In the Amplified Bible says this: as it is written, behold, I am laying in Zion a stone that will make men stumble. Even if you're reading the Amplified version, stone is capitalized to indicate to us a simple reminder without Hebrew, Greek, or Latin that it is referring to our Savior, the Messiah, mankind's Redeemer, Jesus. A stone. It's said in the English language as a proper noun to remind us that he is referring to the man, Jesus. A stone that will make men stumble. I'm not going to preach this tonight, but look at this. A rock that will make them fall. Do you know what the problem is with Jesus? Do you know why these things are in sacred text? Listen, a message, I just made a left turn, but relax, I know the neighborhood. I'm going to circle the block and I'll come right back. But while I'm in the neighborhood, I just thought I might touch this for a minute. Do you know what the problem is with Jesus? Look over at that deadhead sitting next to you that just got real tight and quiet. Look them right in the eyes and ask them, what's the problem with Jesus?
What's the problem with Jesus?
Because folks don't have a problem with God. It's Jesus they have a problem with. Huh? If I don't have a problem with you being spiritual, if I don't have a problem with you being a worshiper of God, Pastor Victor, the problem is always Jesus. That's what people have a problem with. And the reason they have a problem with Jesus, Pastor Scott, is Jesus does not make himself a part of options or multiple choice answer. Jesus said, if you want to get to the Father, you won't have to come through me. Nobody talking to me in here. And this is the problem with Jesus. The problem with Jesus is that folks don't mind you loving God. They don't mind you worshiping God. But as soon as you say Jesus is the door, as soon as you say that Jesus is the way, the truth, the light, it is the verbiage of those who are victorious because of the finished work of Calvary that makes Jesus the problem. I'm going to preach that till you get with me or you get out of here. We can have ecumenical gatherings in our communities. I'm not just talking about a variety of Christian denominations. I'm talking about a variety of faiths coming together. Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hinduism, coming together in ecumenical gatherings, but believers are all followers of Jesus are always the ones that throw a wrench in the works. Because everybody wants to get together and talk about God, but when we get together, we won't talk about Jesus. We start saying stuff like this: when I think about Jesus and all he's done for me, my soul cries out, hallelujah. And then we start saying stuff like this: what you think about Jesus? And somebody hollers back, he's all right. Jesus is the problem. Because Jesus said you can't get to the Father unless you come through me. When I said moments ago, tell that naked person that you looked around here like you had missed something tonight. You've been so deep up in your praise and worship. I had a 2 or 3-year-old granddaughter sometime around that age when she first began to speak. And I'm sure this is like this with many kids, but because I didn't raise my son, I didn't get exposed to this a lot. But I've seen it in my 3 beautiful grandchildren that they loved to be naked when they were 2, 3, 4 years old. I say naked because where I come from on the south side of Chicago, we call that naked. But Cheryl, she was born and raised down in southern Illinois in a country town, and she got all the little grandbabies saying naked. And so them little grandbabies, they get 2-3 years old, they'd run up, they try to run away from you. They're all slippery and soapy, jump up out of bathtub, take off running through the house. I'm naked, I'm naked, I'm naked. And little Sienna, she was the eldest and the ringleader. She'd always look for a window with the shades open and the windows open and go put her greasy self up on the window hollering at the neighbors, I'm naked, I'm naked. She didn't have sense enough to know you can't get naked and run around and let folks see you like that. My preachers just got tight on me up there. Huh? Sure. Because you've already been working that angle today. You don't want anybody to see you naked. You don't want anybody to know your vulnerabilities. You don't want anybody to see you as you are. I hesitate to even introduce this vocabulary because in the fact that it's been a buzzword, it has become trite to us. But we hesitate to be authentic. We hesitate to be transparent because we don't want anybody else to see us naked. Because if you saw me naked, you might not appreciate who I am, what life has done to me. I didn't plan to be like this, but this is how I am. I miss the days of 3-piece suits and neckties, and most Sundays in the church I lead, I will show up in a suit and a necktie because I don't want anybody seeing me with one layer of clothes on me. I need some material to work with. I need something to drape with. I need something to hang a certain way. I need a necktie to misdirect attention. I even like the 3-piece on with the vest, so just a layered look kind of takes away. Somebody holler at me. So that's the way some of you are. You go to such great lengths to keep people from seeing you as you are. You got a certain handshake, you got a certain smile, you got a certain word that you use. But the truth is, if we could break you down tonight and see you naked right now, you are not who you represent yourself to be. You came to this town about to lose your mind. I'm not even sure if your marriage is going to survive. What's going to happen to your church before the end of this year? And I came at a night to tell you that you are in a safe place, and that in this place you can find covering that comes from God and covering that comes from your brothers and sisters. I think the first place in sacred text that the word cover is used is in the 3rd chapter of Genesis. And it's after Adam and Eve have eaten of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the Bible says that they covered themselves. Shove your neighbor, because everybody knows I'm talking about them right now. Shove them real good. That's where some of you are at right now. You don't have anybody in your life who knows the truth about you, not your wife, not your friends. Oh, I preach with or without you. I started my first church in a funeral home. You dead people don't scare me at all. You don't have any friends that know you. You don't have any elders that know you. Nobody knows the truth about you because, like Adam and Eve, you're trying to cover yourself. You are not accountable to anybody. You are not answerable to anybody. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is you are not honest with anybody. You are trying to cover. Show your neighbor, tell him he knows you, man. He knows you. You are not honest with anybody about you. And they covered themselves. We withdraw from fellowship. We withdraw from friendship. We break covenant. And then we try to cover ourselves. Nakedness, uncovered, can be the playground of the enemy. Are you going to talk to me? Don't you remember what God said when he first saw them trying to cover themselves? He said, who told you you were naked? Oh, I'm going to preach that to somebody hollers at me tonight. Who told you you weren't good enough? Who told you you didn't have an anointing? Who told you you didn't have a call on your life? Who told you you were exposed? Who told you you were naked? I'm the one that made you like that. Now who made you feel bad for who I made you to be? Let me try it like this. The Bible says that the devil is the accuser of the brethren. Show your neighbor, tell him he knows your mother. He knows your mother. The devil is the accuser of the brethren. Listen, it's the devil who comes to us and says, you're naked and God's not going to be happy about that. Don't let anybody know you're struggling. Don't let anybody know that you're losing your mind over your children. Don't let anybody know that your marriage is taking too much of a strain. Don't let anybody know that you felt an odd lump in your breast last week. Don't let anybody know that you can't remember why you started out in the ministry. Cover yourself up, man. So that's how you came in here tonight. How's the church? Oh, fantastic. How's the family? Just beautiful. How's your wife doing? You know, she just loves the ministry and loves what's happening at the church. Who told you you had to lie when you came in here tonight? Who told you you had to play games in here tonight? Who told you you had to hide yourself? It was the devil that told you that. And I dare you to jump up on your feet, rip that cover off, and tell the devil, here I am, naked, before the God that made me. This is me right now, and I'm discouraged. This is me right now, and I'm suicidal. This is me right now, and I don't know where my son's at tonight. This is me right now, and I'm not sure if my marriage is going to make it to 2019. This is me, God, and I've been trying to cover myself, but I need you to cover me. Somebody throw up your hands and shout, cover me, cover me, cover me, cover me. Moses said, God, show me your glory. I said, so nobody can see me and live. But Moses persisted, show me your glory. And God said, the only way I'm going to be able to show you my glory is if I get you and stick you up in the rock. I'm going to put you in the cave. I'm going to hide you inside the rock that is that mountain. You don't hear what I'm talking about. The reason that you cannot see God's glory in your church is not because of that crazy woman that you don't have the courage to throw out, man. The reason you cannot see God, just keep looking straight ahead. Nobody even knows I know where you passed it. The reason you can't see God's glory in the revival in your town is not because you don't have enough money. If you didn't like that, you're going to hate this. It's because there's too much you and God can't show his glory until he picks you up and sticks you in the rock. And because God says, I will not share my glory with your mad skills on the keyboard. I will not share my glory with your sexy preaching. I will not share my glory with anybody else. Here's how I roll. It's my way or the highway. You can do your thing or you can go hide in the rock and let me be God all by myself. And if you will let me hide you in the rock, cancer will be healed. Diabetes will be divorced. The families will be put back together. Somebody shout, cover me. I said, nobody can see me and live. I can't share my glory with anybody else. I'm going to have to put you up in the rock. Hey, preacher, come here. Let me holler at you for just a minute. How much do you really want the glory? Do you really want the manifest presence of God to show up so desperately that you are willing for people to talk about God more than you? Well, I'm going to have to preach now because they're going to be lighting the buses up here in just a minute. Do you really want the glory so desperately certainly that you are willing for people to talk about God more than the name of your church?
Yes, sir. Yes.
God can't show up, not because he doesn't want to, Brother Kern. He can't show up because we won't get in the rock. Shove that sucker next to you and tell him, get in the rock, man. Get in the rock. Some of you need to go home and tell your elders, I need you to get in the rock so God can show up. I need some of you singers to get in the rock. If you're not going to holler at me, then I'm going to just lay it on down. I need the praise team to get in the rock. I need the praise leader to get in the rock. I need the preacher to get in the rock because I need God's glory to show up. You can't sing me through this one. You can't preach me through this one. I need God to manifest in a way that it cannot be denied. The old timers said it like this: rock of the ages, cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee. Amen. Watch this. You have to be hidden in the rock in order for the glory of God to show up. Watch. Because you don't want God to see you without the rock. Because without the rock, God sees you as the hot mess you really are. Oh, you're not going to talk to me. You've got to have the covering of the rock, because without that covering, all God can see is your sin. He can see you're a pervert. He can see you got a habit. He can see you're an addict. He can see your filthy little mind until you get up in the rock. And then the Bible says that I am hidden in Christ. I'm about to get myself happy. So that when he looks at me, he doesn't see the hot mess anymore. He sees the Son of God. In other words, as we began to lift holy hands and worship tonight, Pastor Eddie, he did not see me as my sin. He saw me as he sees Jesus, a Son of God. So that as I worship him tonight, I have nothing left but the blessing and the favor that comes because he sees me as a son. Why don't you lift up your hands and wave them at him? Because he doesn't see what you did yesterday. He doesn't see what you did last month. He sees you as the Son of God. But it's not just that you don't want God to see you without the rock. You don't want to see God without the rock. Without Jesus, all you see is a God of judgment and condemnation. Is it any wonder that our friends, our unbelieving friends, cannot understand why we worship the God of our Bible? Did you go to Vacation Bible School? I got 52 golden stars every year for Sunday school. So if you didn't, let me bring you up to speed. The Old Testament is murder, mayhem, and bloodshed. Just one chapter after another. You can't even read it when you go to bed at night because it'll give you a bad dream. Woo. Man, you've got to be kidding. And then you just say to the Lord as you fall asleep, was all that necessary, man? But did you have to be that graphic with it? And drowning people? Did you have to let people drown? I mean, that just seems a little harsh to me. I understand why unbelievers say, how can you say God is love? I get that. But that's the reason why you have to have the rock. Because without the rock, all you see is judgment. All you see is wrath. All you hear the enemy saying is, you're naked, you're naked, you're naked, you're naked, you're naked, you're naked, you're not good enough. You can't talk right, you can't live right, you don't have enough talent, you don't have enough skill, you don't have an anointing. But once you get in the rock and get covered by the rock, you look to God as he looks at you as a son. You look at God, and when you get in the rock, you see mercy. When you get in the rock, you see grace. When you get in the rock, what can wash away my sins? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Would you be free from your burden of sin? There is power in the blood. Would you over evil a victory win? There is wonderful power in the blood. Throw up your hand and shout, cover me, cover me, cover me. Shove your neighbor, tell him, I need you to cover me, man. I need you to cover me. I need you to cover me. When you get in the rock, he sees you as a son. You see him as a benevolent father. who gave his only begotten Son to be your body. Now remember the text where we start. I'm laying in Zion a stone that will make men stumble, a rock that will make them fall unless they believe in him. And then they shall not be put to shame, nor disappointed in his expectations. Cover. Everybody say cover.
Cover me.
In just a few minutes, we're going to pray for people to be covered today. Because some of you are not doing what God assigned you to do with your life because the enemy harasses you every day. You're naked. You've been through divorce. You got drunk. You messed up. You committed this sin. You can never have the ministry that you once had. If you went to vacation Bible school like I did, and you made the crafts, and still have it, you remember the story of Noah and the ark. But do you remember what happened after the ark? When Noah got a little tipsy? And Noah falls out drunk. And the Bible says that his son Ham came in and saw him. Now listen, I'm not a theologian, but I have read the text 6 ways to Sunday and looked at it in Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, and I've come to this conclusion, Pastor Scott. Something transpired, and it may have only been this, that he left his naked father and went out and told everybody else. Huh? Because whatever else you infer in the text would just be poetic license. But we know somebody told Shem and Jacob, Pops is naked in there. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. There are people in here tonight who have been ruined because somebody else went and told somebody else that you were naked. Did you hear about this? Did you see that? This is what was told to me. I'm just telling you this so that we can pray about it for a while. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? One of the first curses of Scripture is because a man went and told everybody else, I saw him naked, and here's what his problem is. That's what happens when you feel the need to uncover people that God has covered. Shem and Jacob, on the other hand, took a blanket, the Bible says, and they backed into Pop's tent without looking at his nakedness and covered him. Show your neighbor and tell him, I need somebody to cover me. Tell him, I need somebody to cover me. They pulled the blanket over him, and when Noah sobered up, he issued forth with a curse on Ham's son and a blessing on Shem and Japheth. My brothers and sisters, there's a blessing on covering what everybody else is trying to expose. God has not called you to lay everybody naked in your town, in your denomination, in the ministry. God has called you to love them, and love is what covers everything. Pastor Dale, would you bring me two chairs? Am I helping anybody in here tonight?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm not exactly sure where I'm going, but I think I'm almost there. Right here. Right. I gotta stay near there. All right, now watch this. Pastor Dale, come here. Have a seat. 6 months ago, my closest friend in the city of Houston, and my friend for 25 years, if you've heard me preach very much, you've heard me preach everything I know about 3 times. But you've heard me tell a story about my buddy Steve Austin in the context of another message where I explained Pastor Steve and Hurricane Ike locked himself up in the church building, and we lost the power. I was telling you that in the context of how when you go through storms, you sometimes think you're the only one going through the storm. And the way I told you that story was the power went out, and that was on Friday night, Saturday. And I had church on Sunday because I was going to pull an offering. It was a Sunday. I was going to lift an offering one way or the other. So I pulled all the chairs out the church parking lot, and you know we Americans, man, we're little divas. We don't like to be without air conditioner. We don't like to be without cold water. But I said, come on to church. We're going to worship God outside today. And when church was over, I went looking for my friend, and I called his wife, and I said, where's he at? She said he locked himself up in the church building. He just built a 33,000 square foot building. His church payment was $42,000 a month, and he was about to go into foreclosure. And she said he locked himself in the church building. I said, do you have air conditioner in there? She said, no, we don't have any power. I said, man, it must be hotter than blue blazes in there. And I went over and beat on the door, and he finally came to the door, and I said, sucker, do you think you're the only one that went through the hurricane? There's 4 million of us out here that went through the hurricane. I told that story in this country once. 6 months ago, Pastor Steve was due to meet myself and a couple other pastors who had come in early for my annual pastors gathering in Houston. And on that Wednesday night, he called me and he said, listen, Doc, I'm not feeling good. You guys go on and have dinner. I'll be at church tomorrow night when the conference opens. I said, that's all right, bro. You get the rest you need. I need you tomorrow night. 2 hours later, his son called me. And his son said, hey, Pastor, I just want to let you know we're on our way to the hospital because my dad came to church tonight. And during church, they came and tapped me on the shoulder and said, come to the office. I went to the office and he said, my pops, 64 years old, was sitting in the office speaking incoherent. And he said, so we got him in the car, we're rushing to the hospital right now. Within 24 hours, they realized he had a near catastrophic stroke. And he lost his ability to speak. He lost his ability to move his left side. First time in my life, anybody that I knew so well that fast went from being a normal person to not being able to communicate. When I went to see him in the hospital, he was still having a stroke. He stroked out for the next 30 days. Most of that he doesn't remember. And he could not speak clearly. Matter of fact, a month ago, when we got the sad news that his mom had died, he could still not say English words properly. He has some phrase that he's saying over and over, and we know he's thinking clearly because he laughs at the right things. He motions for the right things, uses sign language to communicate certain things, and his sharp intellect is there. I'm talking about a man so sharp that somebody wrote him a check for $4.4 million to pay off his church bill. I'm talking about a man so sharp that he built a church of thousands of people right up in one of the worst neighborhoods on the north side of Houston. And all he can say over and over is, "Casino, casino, casino." Nobody even knows what he's saying. And when we say, I'm not sure what you're saying, he gets frustrated and just says, ah, yeah. When his mom died, we brought him to the church. We made up our mind that we were going to bring him into the sanctuary before anybody else could see him. So we said, let's roll him in and move a chair out of the front row of the sanctuary. We'll set him in there, and then the crowd will come in, and he won't have to worry about seeing him. This was because during the visitation the night before, while he was in a wheelchair, this is a man that 6 months ago walked, talked, drove, lived a perfectly fine life. We noticed that during the visitation, he tried to converse with people, and he was calm until they started to approach him and tried to shake his hand. And he couldn't lift his hand. And immediately, he put his good hand over his bad hand and motioned to his son to get him out. So we took him out to the office, waited till the crowd had gone, and at the funeral the next day we said, let's bring him in early so nobody sees him. Bishop, I've heard people preaching about cover for the last 25 years of my life, but I never understood until I got to that funeral. We rolled him into the front row. And in the office, he made it clear to us that he wanted to sit next to his dad while they were at his mom's funeral. And his dad said, well, put Steve on one side and put his sister on the other side. So we rolled him in, moved the chair out, put Pastor Steve in that seat, and his dad came and stood right there next to him. Just as the funeral service started, I saw my friend's sweet wife arrive, and just as they started, she sat down in her seat. He was in the wheelchair with his hands up on the armchair, the wheelchair. And as soon as she sat down, I saw her slip her hand right over that destroyed hand so that nobody could see who was disfigured before. And when she put her hand on his deformed hand, I saw his left arm, his strong arm, go up. He started rubbing his. He had already been upset because he said, I'm not going to be able to be there for my dad. I can't help my dad. I saw his left arm, his strong arm, go up. I saw him reach way up on his dad's shoulder and squeeze his shoulder. I saw him pat his dad on the back. I saw him rub his dad on the back, and all the time, his wife had her hand on his weakness. Pastor Ruth, for the first time in my life, I got a clear revelation of what it means for us to cover one another. It doesn't mean that we can fix it. It doesn't mean that we can always heal it. It doesn't mean that we can always make it go away. But what it does mean is that I can cover your weakness so that you can use your strength to serve somebody else that needs what you bring to the table. Pastor Mark, that's why we all came to Belize City, because we got a weakness, a vulnerability that we don't want exposed to everybody else, but I need somebody to cover that weakness because there's still something in me that's strong. There's still something in me that's alive. There's still something in me that can help somebody else. And this is why the Apostle Paul said that you have not seen God at his best until you have seen me at my worst. In my weakness, his strength is made perfect. Hiding your weakness does not demonstrate the grace of God. Pretending that you never fell down is not a great testimony. But exposing your weakness so that God can be strong in you while you are weak is a testimony to what God does. I'm done here. We're going to pray over people. I'm going to quit. I thought I was going to stop right there. Let me just drop this in and I'm going. But do you remember when Jesus dropped his head and said, "It is finished"? The veil in the temple that had separated man from God was torn from top to bottom, exposing the Ark of the Covenant, the seat of God's glory, his Shekinah, his manifest presence. But you could not see into the Holy of Holies until that veil had been torn. Where are my Bible students at? That veil is flesh. That veil, well, you don't even have to study that out. The Bible says that the veil that was on Moses' face represents our flesh because he received a glory that fades. And so he put a veil on his face so that the people could not see the glory fading. But we have a glory which does not fade. It doesn't fade when you're sick. It doesn't fade when you're broke. It doesn't fade when your family is falling apart. It doesn't fade when the praise team quits. It does not fade when you can't get your message together. And it's only in the tearing of the veil. Amen. Ooh, I feel God in here just now. I'm preaching to somebody who's going through the tearing right now. I'm preaching to somebody who's going through the ripping right now. Your flesh can no longer sustain you. Your mind is no longer has the capacity to carry you. But in the tearing of the veil, people are going to see God in your life in a way that they have never seen him before now. When you stand to your feet, lift your hands up as high as you can get them and say, "Cover me, cover me, cover me, cover me, cover me." Would you reach over and get your neighbor by the hand and just begin to pray for them and say, "Cover them, God, cover 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 them, God." I don't even know in this crowd if I have play anything you got. I don't know if I have anybody in this room who has the courage to walk down that aisle naked and unafraid and say, "Here I am. This is me. I'm not the best. I'm not the most talented. I can't do what I thought I could do. I need you to cover me, God." I'm preaching to somebody that may be struggling with your family right now. Somebody may be struggling with your finances right now. You can leave this place tonight trying to act like you still got it all together. Or you can let God cover you before you walk out of this room. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to confess to anybody else, but I want to be one of the ones that pulls a blanket over you before you leave tonight. I want to be one of the ones that pulls a covering over you before you walk out of this room tonight. I want to be one of the ones to tell the devil, you are not going to expose them to the world. They're covered with the blood, they're covered with the blood, they're covered with the blood, they're covered with the blood. I preached to somebody the other night who thought you lost your ministry because you went through a divorce. You thought you lost your ministry because you had a moral failure. You thought you lost your ministry because you went bankrupt. You thought you lost your ministry because you didn't know what you were doing. But God sent me here tonight to tell you you're covered, you're covered, you are covered, you're covered, you're covered. Where my singers at? I need a singer. Reach over and put your hand on that person next to you, and the Holy Ghost is flowing here right now. You don't have to say anything to them, but if you're full of the Holy Ghost, I wish you'd open your mouth and let him flow through you right now. I wish you could see what I see. I wish you could see